Naming your LLC is one of the most important things you're going to do in your business. What's in a name? Now, for your LLC, there's some requirements and some legal issues you need to consider. This is not about the marketing rules and how to market or brand your business. This is about the legal rules and how you do it properly and some of the common tried and true practices people use. I'm also going to go through how do you search to make sure your name is available in your state and also on the federal level. Should you trademark it? Should you not? Also, what happens if I screwed this up? I'm going to come back to that here at the end to make sure you know if you screwed it up, because you already have an LLC. But first we got to get through how do you do it right. Now the first rule you need to know, and this is for everybody who has an LLC, is it must say LLC in the name, or there's a couple options you can use towards the end. You can actually say limited liability company, you could say LC, and you can also just say LTD for limited. Either of those options typically works in all 50 states. You don't have to do LLC. You also don't have to state limited liability company. You can just do LC or also LTD limited. Kind of looks cool and professional. I actually just do LLC at the end of mine. Most people know what it is. It's the easiest, from the bank or a title company, a vendor, an employee. Simple, straightforward, everybody knows what the heck it is. Now, if you were a corporation though, you would have done corp, corporation, or comma Inc. Okay, it's a different set of rules for those of you doing corporations. Now, some of you that are LLCs taxed like an S corporation, you still stay LLC on your name. You might have an S corporation tax status, very common for small business owners, but in terms of your name with the state and any of your legal agreements, it's just gonna be comma LLC or LTD, LC, or limited liability company. Now, some of you should be private in the LLC names you're using. If you're doing an asset holding LLC, rental property, investment accounts, holding entities, I don't want your name in that LLC name typically. We want to be private with our assets. I don't want to put Matthew Sorensen LLC on an entity. That's not good. Okay, that might be in my operating business where I put myself out as the owner of that business and I'm on the website and everyone knows this is me and what I do. That's one thing. But on an asset holding entity, we like to be a little more generic. For example, I have entities called MNS Real Estate. That happens to be my initials, but who knows that? Maybe you watching this YouTube video, but otherwise we're being a little more generic and private about the name we're using. Now, how do you know that the name's available? You cannot use a name that is already in use in your state. Your LLC is gonna get rejected at the state. But how do you know that? Well, every state has a search. You can go search your name at the state where you wanna set up your LLC or corporation to see if it's available. Now, the best way to do this is search a couple variations of it to make sure it is available, to make sure there's nothing close to it. Because a lot of states will reject a name if there's something close to it. For example, ABC Investment. You might want to search ABC Investment, okay? If it's so close, there's only a letter or two, an S or something like that at the end of it, they're gonna still reject it. But sometimes in states, if you search ABC Investment, it's not gonna pull up because someone had ABC Investments and it looks different. But if there's something close enough, they could still reject it. I'm already presuming you've picked a name, maybe you have the URL, maybe it's something that relates to the business. It's a good name for a marketing purpose, but from the legal standpoint, we gotta make sure it's available. Now, if you small business owners operating in just one state, or you have rental properties in an LLC just in a particular state, your LLC search can really stop there. For those of you that have nationwide businesses or an online business, or you operate in multiple states, stay tuned. I'm gonna talk about trademarks and how you wanna search this on a national level, and also how you may wanna reserve the name on a nationwide 50-state basis. Now let's go over some common names people use for their investment entities. All right, this is for those of you buying rental real estate or other investment assets. A lot of common words you're gonna see there is XYZ Investments LLC, XYZ Real Estate LLC, XYZ Capital LLC, XYZ Holdings LLC. Those are a lot of common words people like using their LLC name. It designates assets or investments or ownership of assets. Different from maybe an operating business, you might name ABC Solutions, ABC Enterprise. You know, you might have a name or word in your name, of course, that links to your industry because you're trying to brand it and be known in that space. But for those of you doing real estate too, you might have XYZ Real Estate LLC. Maybe you're a realtor and it's ABC Real Estate. So some of these things are interchangeable, of course, but those are some common words you're gonna see in LLC names. Now, what if you wanna use multiple names in the business? For example, you wanna call the business Vandelay Industries. Maybe you're an importer-exporter, maybe you're an architect, I don't know, it doesn't matter the business, but you decide on a name you wanna call the business. So it's Vandelay Industries, LLC. But you're like, you know what? I wanna operate as Prestige Worldwide as well. I wanna market that name Prestige Worldwide Because that seems pretty important. Well, you can have a DBA, a doing business as. Some states call this a fictitious name. Some states call it a trade name. A lot of difference in the 50 states, but it's basically a DBA, doing business as, that you can operate under a secondary name. Now you could have hundreds of DBAs if you wanted, and they're owned by the main LLC. So for example, if your main LLC was Vandalay Industries, but you also wanted to operate out of that exact same company as Prestige Worldwide, because you had a division or product that you wanted to market and label, a website, whatever it may be, you could get a DBA or a name doing business as under Prestige Worldwide. Now, DBAs are not entities themselves, so you still want them owned by your LLC, so you get the asset protection if something happened in Prestige Worldwide. But the nice thing about the DBA is you can get a bank account set up in that DBA. If you get checks or payments written to that DBA, it's also recognized as a separate name to your main LLC that owns the DBA. Let me just give you one example here. We have Directed Trust Company that has a DBA, Directed IRA. The business name is actually Directed Trust Company because we're regulated and we have to have those words in our name. But we have a DBA, Directed IRA, which we use to market our business and use in commerce and practice. Now, what about a trademark? Do I need a trademark? Maybe I called my LLC Prestige Worldwide LLC, and I'm like, I want to trademark that name. I want to use it at least nationwide, okay? I don't know about a worldwide trademark. That's very complicated and expensive, and a lot of different countries have to get involved. But on a nationwide, US, this is not that complicated. You can go to uspto.gov and search your name there. They have a search function available where you can search your name. So when you're looking at your state and if the name looks available at your state, but you're like, man, I got an e-commerce business. I'm operating in 2 or 3 states, right? I have a plan to go nationwide. You're gonna wanna check uspto.gov for the name. Now, when you search uspto.gov, your name might pull up. Someone might have Prestige Worldwide. That's not a problem. Only a problem if they have the name in your industry or classification at USPTO. So for example, there might be a real estate business called Prestige Worldwide LLC. And you might be searching for Prestige Worldwide LLC and you want to use it in another state. But it looks like USPTO.gov, someone already has that. They're already using the name Prestige Worldwide, but you happen to be in the entertainment business. Well, you could also register Prestige Worldwide as a trademark in the classification of entertainment, despite the fact there's already a Prestige Worldwide trademark under the real estate classification. There's lots of different classifications, and so there can be different trademark names in different industries. The point of a trademark is to protect that name from confusion amongst customers. But a customer is not going to confuse a real estate company using Prestige Worldwide from an entertainment company using Prestige Worldwide. So because of that, you can get separate trademarks on names in different industries. Now, setting up a trademark is going to cost you about $1,000 to $1,500. That's going to include the lawyer fees and also the fee to the USPTO. But the benefit is to someone trying to grow a nationwide or online business is you have that name reserved across all 50 states. No one else can use that name. If your business has significant traction, no copycats, you have federal legal authority to go sue them and force them not to use that name. Now, what do you do if you screwed it all up? There are solutions here, okay? A lot of people come to us because they're like, well, my name got rejected at the state. What do I do? Well, you might need to change the name, okay? Someone else has used that name. Another issue that comes up commonly is, Matt, I searched the name at the state and it was available, but then I used that name with the IRS to get my tax ID and it got rejected because someone else has that name. Well, that happens sometimes. Maybe you did a Florida LLC with Prestige Worldwide LLC, and someone in Washington State has Prestige Worldwide LLC already, and they went and got an EIN with the federal government. That's gonna automatically get you a rejection when you do an online EIN. But it's okay. You can still have Prestige Worldwide in Florida and you can still get an EIN for it, but you cannot do it online. So you have to fax in the EIN. It's just a longer process if someone else has that name in another state. That does come up often. Our law firm's dealing with it with our client every month because there's all 50 states here and it can get complicated with common names. And now back to if you screwed this up. Let's say you have a name for your LLC that you want to change. You didn't like how it was listed. It's not available in all 50 states. You want to grow. Or maybe you put your personal name on the dang thing and it owns all of your assets. You'd rather be private. Well, there's a fix. Not a permanent fix. We cannot go back in time and change records and history for everything unless you have a DeLorean and plutonium. But we can fix it moving forward. So you can do an amendment to the state to change the name of your LLC. You can change the name at any time. It's still the same LLC. You can still have the same bank account. You have to update the IRS as to your tax ID so they know you changed the name, but you can amend the name in all 50 states whenever you want. This way, moving forward, your LLC operates under the new name. The actual form you're going to look for at your state is called Articles of Amendment. This is specifically used to change things on the original filing of your LLC. In this instance, of course, you're going to change simply the name and can say all other information remains the same. There's a few operational things you have to take into account after you do this. You need to update vendors. Do you need to update customers? Do you need to update deeds or other bank accounts or things like that? This stuff needs to be updated if you do change the name of your LLC. But you do not have to start over. You do not have to start a new LLC. You can simply amend and move forward. Now, some people are like, well, Matt, I haven't really used this entity yet. I don't like the name. I put my name in. I want to be private, or there's other issues here. Just start over in that instance, okay? If you have not put that entity into use, there's not a lot of damage in just shutting it down. Let's just start fresh with the new entity, keep you private, or use the right name moving forward. Let's not have to deal with the baggage of that used to be known as this LLC in the past. Let's just start fresh, get you out of the gate operating properly. I hope this video has helped you better understand how to name your LLC. Business ownership, whether this is operating business or rental real estate, are some of the core pillars to building wealth. Now let us know if we can help you at my law firm, KQS Lawyers. Click the link here to be connected over to my team at KQS Lawyers. We can help you set up your LLC, go over your asset protection and tax strategy, and help you better take control of your financial future. And lastly, please subscribe to the videos. If you've made it this far, you liked the video. You know you did. You learned something. So please click subscribe, because I'm going to be back with more videos helping you better take control of your financial future.